Hey, it's Carol Roy from VMworld 2009. I'm with Alan Murphy, the Technical Marketing Manager at F5 Networks. How are you, Alan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thanks. Let's dive right into the hot topic of the week, cloud. Now, I know you guys play in cloud a little bit. Specifically, you have a very unique capability about live migration from cloud to cloud. Can you tell us about that?
I can. So, for our customers who are looking to deploy cloud computing or thinking about cloud computing, whether for test or for production, or how to integrate that in their own infrastructure or in their own IT departments and data centers, we provide the infrastructure to allow them to manage their application delivery in and out of the cloud, which means managing virtual machines, the applications that are on those virtual machines, network access, user connections, all that stuff. Until today, we kind of had a problem where customers were concerned about moving virtual machines from one data center to the other, both the virtual machine itself and then the storage piece. And traditionally, you had to do that in a piecemeal fashion. You had to move the virtual machine, move the storage, take down connections from one data center and bring them up in the other. Today with F5, you're able to do that migration in a live manner, so you can move the storage and the virtual machine, including the applications and the user connections that are associated with that. You can move those from one data center to the other without losing any user connections, without any application state loss. So the connections will follow the virtual machine as they move from one data center to the other. And that's a different solution than we've been able to do in the market until today.
So what were people doing before the solution came out?
It was a very manual process. They would actually have to clone the storage. That was the first step from one data center to the other, and that took a fair amount of time. And then they would have to clone the virtual machine itself, bring it up in the second data center, and then start manually moving connections one at a time. So as those connections were being moved, some users would come into the old data center, some would come to the new data center, but it was a very manual process. And today we can do that in an automated way where the virtual machine is actually copied in real time, and then the user connections are directed based on where that virtual machine is at any given moment.
So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges around cloud?
I would say number one is management. I think management is critical to know things like the state of your infrastructure in the cloud, who's accessing it, how they're accessing it, where they're coming from, how the applications are responding. I think insight and visibility into the cloud are the critical components, and then beyond that, it's simple adoption and figuring out how can I use this in a production level manner like I can if I own the data center. And I think those are the two biggest questions that we see today.
How quickly do you think cloud will be adopted in the enterprise space, and what do you think will be some of its biggest drivers?
That's a great question. We actually conducted a study a few weeks ago of IT departments that spanned our larger customer base and larger companies, and we had an astounding response that 99% of those customers had already dabbled in cloud computing, at least touched it. Some of those were in production, some of those are in testing environments, and some of those are solely just playing, getting cloud instances and figuring out how those work together. So adoption rate, we're seeing a much faster scale than I think anybody would have predicted. I think once companies get their head around how to use those deployments and how to integrate them with their own infrastructure, then we're going to just see the actual production adoption just take right off, skyrocket.
So you guys are in a booth here at VMworld. Booth number, and what are we going to find at the F5 booth?
We're in booth 2302, and you're going to find great F5 staff like myself talking about our various solutions for how we load balance and manage application delivery for virtual machines, how we integrate directly with VMware's vCenter to bring network level management into virtual machine management and virtual switch management. And then you're also going to be able to see a real demo of that live migration from the cloud to various cloud providers and data centers. See how that.
Well, we look forward to stopping by booth 2302 to visit the F5 Networks family. Alan, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, and we'll see you there.
See you there.